We're loading. Weird Realities Network presents Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, where we pull up a log, roast a marshmallow, and settle in as these two blondes talk spooky tales, urban legends, and classic horror icons. Exciting guests, perky blondes, and sinister tales makes this podcast as good as a double stack s'more. So let's join Bethany and Krystal as they gather around the campfire in Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales.
Sorry.
I'm Mike only. Okay.
How is that not planned? You knew what was happening.
That's the point. I think he thinks.
I'm trying. I think I have allergies or something. It's just.
Okay. Well, are your eyes itchy?
No. Just nasal stuff that's causing throat things.
Okay, that's how I always figured if it was like allergies or a cold, is if your eyes are itchy, then I'm like, that's allergies. If they're not, then you got like a 50-50.
But I don't have like aches and pains and stuff
you don't
like
have
that.
to. A cold, you don't have to. You can just have a head cold.
Till then, I'll drink this nasty stuff, the greens and ginger.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's as bad as it sounds. Oh.
Sorry. Well, welcome to Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. We all have issues today. For those of you who are curious, I am not on camera. If anyone has ever experienced gastric bypass or bariatric surgery, you know there are some complications that sometimes come from that. And I am experiencing one of those complications. So I will be on and off. I will try to participate, but tonight it's going to be Krystal and Rikki. They've got this. And Lon is already on for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and just mute my mic, and I will chime in when and where I can. But yeah, you guys have got this, and it's going to be super fun.
All right.
Confidence in us is overwhelming.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just feel like I was handed like the power, which also means I was handed the responsibility. I don't like the responsibility. But anyway, so I guess our theme is kind of hands tonight.
Yeah, actually, it kind of is. It's a little handy that way.
So we'll start with today. I don't have a lot of background on it. I wasn't able to find a lot of background on it, but bloody fingers. I'll just tell my story. So there is a woman on a business trip staying in a hotel, and she had to find a hotel late at night, and they were like, well, there's only one room open, but most people don't like to stay the night there because it's really haunted. And she's like, I'm so tired. I need a room, please. I don't believe in ghosts. I'll be fine. Just give me the room. So she goes up to the room, and she's there, and a little bit after she gets settled in, the phone rings. And she figures it's the front desk or something. So she picks up the phone, and she just hears bloody fingers. Bloody fingers. And she's like, what is going on? So she just hangs up. And a few minutes later, the phone rings again. And it's like, bloody fingers. I'm on the second floor. And she's like, what is going on? Who is this? And they just keep repeating, bloody fingers. So she hangs up. And then about 10 minutes later, the phone rings again. And it's the same thing. Bloody fingers. I'm on the fourth floor. She's like, who is this? What is going on? They just keep repeating, bloody fingers. And she hangs up. And then she hears a knock on the door. And she's like, well, what? So she looks outside, doesn't see anybody. She's like, who's there? And goes, bloody fingers. I need a Band-Aid. There's a couple different ways that can end. One, another ending is for the woman to just say, get a Band-Aid already. And just get annoyed with it.
I think you have to twirl your hair when you say that, though.
Just get a Band-Aid. Gosh, come on. It's not that hard. And then the other ending is the jump scare ending. So they knock on the door, or they'll just be like, she answers the phone again, and they're like, bloody fingers, I'm in your room!
Works better with a flashlight, right?
It does. It works so much better when you're surrounded, when you're in a campfire, and just go, psh, get the scary face lit up.
What gets me is that, they kept progressively getting more and more floors. So it's like, I mean, it's a workout just for the punchline here.
Right?
I'm on the second floor. Oh, I've got to go to the second floor. I'm on the fourth floor. Really? Come on. You couldn't be on the second now?
Like, how many floors can I have to climb? Jeez. So, this one, like I said, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of history on it. It was really popular in the 80s. It has been in a few books. And really, like, the books that it was published, like going back to like the 80s and the 90s. I do believe one of the places it was published was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Which is always a good one. You know, who doesn't? Is
that a video series? Like it's visual and stuff?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
No, it's a book series.
Okay, but isn't there a video version of that as well?
Oh, there was a movie made a few years ago. Yeah. I don't think Bloody Fingers was one of the stories that was included in the movie.
Okay.
But yeah, there was being sarcastic to a supernatural entity. I mean, yeah. I 100% expect my sarcasm to end in a horrible way for me one day.
Right.
And yes, I totally love the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark books. Oh my gosh, I was obsessed with them as a kid. So I definitely went right to, actually I saw the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark movie at the drive-in with my nephew. It was 100 degrees outside and so uncomfortable. It was not the right time to go to the drive-in.
You're totally missing out on drive-ins now.
Yeah. Well, there's still one in Phoenix. That's the one we went to.
Oh, okay.
And apparently there is one actually about an hour away from me up here. So that's pretty cool. I haven't checked it out yet.
I have seen the pop-up screens.
Pop video.
We were just talking about that before our pre-film. The pop-up movie screens that, it's filled with air, and then they show movies on it at different places and such, which is, I mean, pretty cool because you can just have that anywhere. And in fact, I think they do that at the funeral, the cemeteries and stuff when they do their cemetery movie nights and such.
Yeah, they just did their first one here in Tucson.
She's there.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna pop up occasionally.
Pop, Bethany.
It's a pop. Well, my mind immediately went to Popples, but that's probably too obscure.
I loved Popples.
I had a Popple.
Yes, you did.
And I used to roll them into their ball, and then I was like, I'm going to make them bounce. So I would throw them at the ground as hard as I could to make them bounce.
Well, if you ever go back and watch the 80s cartoon stuff, it's so slow. Because, I mean, there's a whole scene where it's like, do you mind? I was perusing a book under there. And that was Puzzle Popple. And the other Popple was like, perusing? I thought you were snoozing. It just took forever.
I have not seen the cartoons in a very long time.
Rhonda, I'm trying not to be a creeper. I'm trying to not creep you guys out. Let's just put it that way.
The cats, however.
yeah, they're stuck in here. I'm so sorry.
That's what we should have, a cat cam.
Yeah, we say that so many times, and I should just do that.
I mean, it's just when one of us can't be there, just cat cam.
Right?
Indy likes to be part of the show anyway. We could just have a camera on him the whole show when you're talking.
Mine would just be.
We do like creepy on this craft.
It'd be like Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales and Indy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's an integral part of it. We should probably make him the mascot or something.
No,
Right.
but where's yours at? I don't see yours on camera. Wait,
Which one?
maybe if I make it big, because I
Yeah.
can do that now since I'm not on camera.
Yes.
Oh, I see the alien. I
Uh-huh.
don't see Bigfoot though.
Yeah, Alien's level 1 and Bigfoot's level 2.
Oh, there he
I
is.
see Bigfoot.
Yeah. Okay, I got him.
We got levels now to this game.
Yeah. Speaking of Bigfoot, the Bigfoot AI like blogs that have been coming
Yes,
out.
I forgot about that. That's kind of what originated this thing, and then we totally skipped over that.
Those are the best things. So I don't know if people have been watching this on TikTok, but AI, I was about to say
Or
AI,
Facebook.
AI came up with this, but it didn't.
Somebody told
came up-
AI to do it though.
Yeah, and they do everything from like a stormtrooper stuck with what he's doing to
Really?
Bigfoot and Yeti dealing with life in the forest. And it's so funny because the last one I watched was Bigfoot actually caught a person. And he's like, hey, everyone, like, here I am in the forest. And he's like all set up with his camera rig. And he's like, it looks like the humans left their person behind. I'm going to call him Brian. Like, he's naming the people.
That's
Well, and the
amazing.
people aren't moving well. They're like,
I know. So if you guys have TikTok, definitely go check out the Bigfoot vlogs because they're just amazing.
Yeah, I've
They're
seen.
so funny.
I think the favorite one that I've seen so far is where he's like, "I'm going to put a footprint," and he doesn't use his actual foot; he uses like a footprint stamper thing. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm leaving that for them to find. It'll make them really excited." He's like talking about these campers, and he's like setting up all this stuff for them to find later. So in their Bigfoot hunt, and it's just really funny.
They're Bigfoot hunt.
watch as I do this. Oh, and they hear. It's like, I love doing that for them.
I bet Bigfoot likes scary ghost stories told around campfires. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
Well, I
And
mean,
there
if
was
you
one
think-
where he was tripping on mushrooms. So
that was pretty good. Yeah.
I have not seen that one. Oh my gosh.
the leprechaun is real, man.
He's like tripping on mushrooms, and there's one where he like took a drink and he's just like, yeah, these people left behind this drink. We're going to try it out today.
Red Bull
And then-
or something. It was an energy drink.
yeah, some energy
Yeah.
drink. And then he sees like the creature with all the tentacles, but it's
Oh,
not
really?
a
I don't
What?
remember that one.
Cthulhu?
But
Cthulhu. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Cthulhu?
Yeah, and then he's like in the air, and he's like, I don't know how I'm surviving right now. Or maybe I'm just hallucinating.
I thought you meant Slenderman for a second. You know,
No.
the creature with the tentacles and stuff.
Oh,
the
yeah.
woods. That would make
Somebody
sense.
was like he has tentacles sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this was
And-
like legit like monster.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that would
and,
be
and
fun.
similar to the whole Eldritch God horror God thing, it's it makes you mad, nuts as you get closer and closer to it.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely go check out one of those vlogs because they're just absolutely hilarious. And it's entertaining, but it is eerie how well AI does this stuff because sometimes people will post things and I'm like, that's AI. Like that's not a real cat. Like that is AI.
But
Yeah,
you know what? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, like, I mean, AI is like getting better quickly. Like some of the videos that I see, I'm like, I saw one the other day. This doesn't have anything to do with like Bigfoot, but it was a girl in the ocean with a shark, and they were like, the shark was like rubbing on her,
Yeah.
like that would. And it's like obvious that it's AI, but at the same time, it's like pretty decent on the realistic quality. Like, and I'm just like, oh, like, yeah, obviously AI still, but at the same time, like, I feel like even 3 months ago, it would have been way worse quality.
Yeah, the thing is, we are also getting more smart about it, or we're learning as well because we're able to pick out when things are AI almost instantly as well. I do remember, what was the place called? Awful.com or something like that, or cursedimages.com, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
That's Yeah, where it was just kind of just coming out, and so they were all still photos and such, but it was just AI screwing up, and they were pretty horrid, pictures.
You know,
Go ahead.
oh no, I was going to say the thing that I've noticed, and it's just because it's been prevalent in my life at the moment, but people who apply for jobs have had like chat GPT, what's it called?
GPT. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They have used that to make their resumes look a lot better.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's like for the first few people, like I fell for it, but now I'm noticing a pattern with it. So I can kind of pick out who's been using that. And I'm not going to lie, like I immediately reject a lot of those just because to me, I feel like that's just cheating on stuff. There's things like stuff that help, like spell check helps you check your spelling, but you wrote that word, you just spelled it incorrectly.
Yeah, spell check's definitely different from having Chat GPT write something for you. And like I will use Chat GPT sometimes if I'm having trouble with like if I'm writing a business letter and I'm having trouble with how to word something, like I'll put it into the Chat GPT and see what it spits out. And that'll give me a better idea of what to do, but I never actually copy and paste what Chat GPT says. I'm like, okay. And it just helps me to think more, to like put it in a better way that's more understandable for somebody else. But to just copy and paste from Chat GPT, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, just like any of these other things are just a tool, and it should be utilized as such, not relied on to do the thinking for us.
Yeah.
There was a story a while back where you had this this law court case, and they used ChatGPT as the lawyers, and it was horrible.
That sounds horrible. That sounds like a super horrible idea. Like,
yeah, it did not do well. It's like, bro, at least try.
Like,
but I will use it.
Huh? Oh, I was going to say, it kind of makes me think of Friends. And that's only because, like Krystal knows, I've been watching Friends so much recently. But Joey, for those who don't watch Friends, he's not the brightest of the group. But he's the hottest. So, like, that's why he's in the group. And Chandler and Monica
definitely the kindest as well.
He is. Oh my God, that's a whole nother episode on just Joey. But Chandler and Monica are trying to adopt a child, and like become like foster parents and become adoptive parents. And so Joey offers to write a letter for them, in which case they are terrified because he just, he's Joey. And Joey has discovered the thesaurus on the internet. And so the way that his letter comes out is like, these two people's whose cardiac heart feels like, like it just
their cardiac chambers.
Yes. and Joey's like so proud of this. And Chandler and Monica are just like, oh my God. And in the end, they do end up getting the child because they're like, oh, it's so nice that you had a child write a letter for you.
Yes, we've had practice.
Yes, but I feel like that's kind of like a lot of people with AI right now, is they're using it in place of what they should do instead of using it as a tool to inspire and help with what they're doing,
Yeah. As an employment specialist, that's one of the things. Is ChatGPT to help with B-roll shots? Yeah. But as an employment specialist, I'll assist individuals in crafting their resumes and cover letters and stuff like that. And I will throw, I'll throw it to ChatGPT or Meta or any of the other AI ones that are out there. And even Indeed has its own, and just kind of see what it pulls from there too to generate ideas as well. And then I'll craft it afterwards, but yeah, it's just a tool. So just people should just, once they get used to using that as a tool, that it'll, And again, people are sophisticated was the word I was trying to think of. Had I had Joey's thesaurus, I would have thought of that. But
I do use, when I can't figure out how to do calculations, I do use ChatGPT to tell me what the mathematic equation is. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to calculate this. I know these numbers. I don't know this number. What's the equation? Because I'm like, yeah, I don't remember algebra.
What's our current APR right now? What is the percentage
Yeah.
in this state at this time for this? Yes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I was just going to say I have a teammate that she tells ChatGPT what she needs to do that day, and like it'll create a work schedule for her. And I'm like, I never would have thought of that.
You know, it kind of makes me think of when we were, actually, I think all of us, this applied to when we were in school, and the teacher would be like, no, you got to figure this out. You can't just use your calculator. You will never have a calculator on you at all times. And now look at it. Like, we all have calculators on us at all times through our phones. So
Yes.
what's to say that they're not going to have AI and Chat GPT available for stuff? Because I remember when the girls were doing their homework and Addie would ask Alexa an answer to the equation. And I'm like, you can't do that. You have to figure out for yourself. And she couldn't understand why, because she always had access to something that would tell her the answer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not like I don't try to get answers, but it's like algebraic stuff does come up sometimes, but so rarely, and I'm like, I have no idea. Actually, it might be more geometry that I'm trying to figure out. Either way, it's stuff that is so rare, but I'm like, I just need to know like what the formula is. And I'm sorry, even if ChatGPT wasn't a thing, I would be having to research and Google what the formula was, because I'm like, I don't do these formulas. Like, I just don't. So I would need help with them no matter what.
One of
I
the
don't remember all those formulas. How many formulas did we have to learn? Like hundreds? Nobody's going to remember them all.
Well, it's kind of like geometry is just as important as they made quicksand and the Bermuda Triangle sound like to us. And like nobody experiences that now. Some people, very rare, but not as much as they made such a big deal of when we were all in school.
Okay, I kind of wonder, did the rest of the world make quicksand a big deal, or did we make it a big deal? Especially because of like,
Probably
especially
us.
if you were a fan of The Princess Bride.
That is true.
lightning quicksand in the fire swamp. So,
so Londa says she had to relearn fractions twice for my kids. I still can't remember how to do that.
Fractions, I think I remember.
Yeah.
Maybe.
One of the
I haven't had
more
to do it in a
important
while, so I
lessons.
might be wrong.
One of the more important lessons I had learned was through computer class, one of my computer programming classes, and it wasn't specifically like they would show the program. You know, it's like, here's what we need to do. Here's an example. You know, and you can do this, but you're not going to learn anything. I want you to find your own way to do this right here. And so it was a class more on not just common sense, but researching and figuring things out and problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
And you can utilize whatever tools, the internet, the Google, AI, calculator, whatever. But it's the learning the critical problem solving skills that's the most important part. So having access to other stuff, sure. But, like in Addie, the other, in the case of a kid or so, well, I've always had access to this. Well, what if you're in the woods? You may not.
Right.
What
if the internet goes out?
If Bigfoot is coming at you at 500 miles an hour from the other camp, and you're at, this camp over here, and Jason is coming at you at 200 miles an hour because he's slow. With the exception that he does have sporadic.
Since when is 200 miles an hour slow? But anyway, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Quite a bit slower than 500 miles an hour.
So, yeah, I mean, those are all pretty handy. Speaking of hands.
It is definitely more about the critical thinking skills. So We've talked about all the bloody fingers. What other hands are we talking about? Jazz hands?
Yes.
The spirit fingers? These aren't spirit fingers.
Well,
These
yeah, those
spirit
are
fingers. Okay, anyway.
So I thought of something in the shower, which of course is when you do most of your best thinking, and you can't write
It
things
really is. Shower thoughts, man.
So this was like a couple sentences. It's like, just when you think you are all alone, you hear it in your walls. Is it slithering? Is it chittering? Does it have claws? And that was to reference Thing from Addams Family. The little hand that moves around.
Oh, he moves around like this. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, so yeah.
Here's how he walks.
So Thing wasn't originally part of the Addams Family. He was actually drawn later on. Charles, somebody who created the Addams Family, the comic strips and stuff, kind of went through different things. I wasn't actually intended, but he had different ideas, and eventually they were going to work on kind of a spin-off of Thing. And so at that point, you had to figure out what is Thing. And realistically, Thing is supposed to be something you do not know. It was in the black and white TV series and such. It was played by the actor who played Lurch. He was actually Thing's hand. And on the few times where he's also on screen, then you had another cast member doing that until he was able to do that again. Thing apparently was a species because really? There was a picture of his mother and father who were both hands, and they were holding hands.
How do hands procreate?
Well, and so there were two other female hands at one point. There was Mrs. Palm or something like that. I forgot. But that was the first incarnation. And basically it was this lady from Britain who came over, and she had a box, and she was like a well-to-do, type person. And, so both boxes were there, and, and she was, Thing fell in love immediately, because, oh my word, there's another one of me. And then, and then there was Esmeralda later on, which was a little bit more clawed, and she was bitter and, and everything, and had she was older, so she had bracelets and jewelry and stuff. It's like, okay. When they did movies and, the movies and such, well, Thing kind of broke out from the box and was this disembodied hand, which was
okay.
played.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Not to interrupt, except yes to interrupt. It's been so long since I've seen the show. He literally was just in a box the whole time?
Yes. Yeah, it was a box, and this hand would come out and do stuff and
okay, because you were talking about all the things happening in the show, and I was just like, how did they do that special effect? Because it was back in the 50s, but that's why, because he was just in a box.
Yeah, in a box.
He wasn't moving around like the one that I'm thinking of in the movies that I'm way more familiar with. Okay, Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. Cloaca. I don't know how to say that. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Birds, reptiles, they have a cloaca.
Thank you. Okay, cloaca.
Yes.
So they would lay eggs, kind of.
As the resident furry, I'm going to know this. So. There wouldn't be a lot. It would be ASL.
Yeah. Well, they've used ASL, I think, in Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I got it. in the first, Addams Family, the movie, they had this magician, who it was his hand. They brought in another magician for another, later on movie as well, and for Wednesday, the series. But Thing, excuse me, the creator, Charles, I gotta look him up. It was Charles somebody, and he wasn't particularly happy with that. Charles Addams. Oh, that's why it's the Addams Family. Charles Addams is a New Yorker cartoonist in the 1930s. He was. It wasn't supposed to be a hand per se, and originally wasn't. But it was supposed to be an ambiguous thing that just is in the walls, watching over the family. So it kind of gets into the creepy thing and the whole bloody fingers and all that kind of vibe.
So if it was a thing in the walls,
As a helper hand, eventually is what it became.
yeah. So, but before thing was a hand, because as the hand version, we know that thing does have ways to communicate,
Right.
but it's all nonverbal. So if it was in the walls, watching over the family, would they know that it was there, and how would they know? Maybe you're already going to answer this. I'm so interested.
Well, he'd come out of different orifices, whether it was a box or in a tree, the knotty, hole or something, and he'd come out of there or something. He had places that he can come out of and stuff. But it was just this creature that was in the walls and the floor and the ceiling and everything. He was part of it. And,
so,
and that was the whole point.
You would see something like a hand, but there might be more back there that you couldn't see until he eventually evolved into just being the hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that kind of leads to a different little take on that, because you can go into, instead of just a disembodied creature, it could be kind of reminiscent of the Hand of Glory, which I don't know if you know what that is or not. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I do. That doesn't mean everybody does.
Right. So, that gets into the creepy aspect as well. Essentially, they would chop off the left hand of a murderer or a criminal who was hanging from, a gibbet and by the side of the road. And then they would pickle it essentially in like this earthen jar and then add a candle to it that was made off of the fat from the same felon. Yes, it did learn Morse code and stuff too. Yeah, because they would use that occasionally. That was, in fact, before they were using ASL, because I guess ASL wasn't as prevalent and probably was more so after the Kennedys, because Kennedy's sister was not hearing impaired, but disabled. And so there was more of a push toward disabilities and such like that. And so ASL was becoming a little bit more prevalent, being part of the deaf community and such.
It makes sense that the TV show thing would have done Morse code, because that was a lot more prevalent back then, and that the Wednesday version is doing ASL. Although now Thing could text if he really wanted to. He could probably do bloody fingers by texting and being like, bloody fingers, and then he like creeps underneath the the hotel room door, just all bloody, like.
Maybe you can tickle your hands under the bed instead of licking it.
Yeah. All kinds of different ghost stories with modern day technology.
Well, and so kind of a nod to that, actually, in one of the movies or a series or so, when you had the disembodied hand, you also eventually had a watch with like an eyeball on it. And now this gave him more. Oh, actually, I think it was animated. That's when you block the number. Yeah.
Most don't care about blocked numbers.
Yeah. But,
Thing would just be acting as a ghost. So I guess the block number would work. That's when he would just show up underneath the hotel room door. Like, you tried to block me. Here's my bloody fingers, bitch.
Underneath and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's essentially how that came about. And that's why I was like, you know what? This is the whole bloody fingers thing. Sure, why not? It kind of fits. And I could see that, especially with the idea that you have this creature in the walls that's watching out through you, or watching over you.
Yeah, and bloody fingers, it was really hard for me to find usually I can find some sort of the history of like the well-known tales like that. But with bloody fingers, it was really hard to find the history on this one. So this one has much more history and they mesh well together. So I like it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Not where I was going with that. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm sorry if I just completely threw you off.
No. That's easy to do. Squirrel. Bloody fingers.
Like what half of our show is.
All right, so now with the accidental, references to the Thing and stuff on occasion, I can see that working too. If you have this amorphous, unknowable creature that is able to move through walls and stuff, the Thing would fit that.
Yeah.
And now it's Thing instead of the Thing. But
well, because the Thing is off the side of the road in Arizona somewhere.
There's that too.
It's like a mummified alligator or something.
I'm not sure. I've never actually stopped by there, but it includes alien UFO stuff now too. So,
okay.
Yes, yeah, it's quite the experience.
You had to expand.
We should check it out at some point. It'd be like the three of us going there and checking it out. So.
Just run out there just to see the Thing.
Yeah, we're here to see the Thing. What you got? You got the alien stuff on.
It's Thing wearing an alien mask. That would be fantastic.
Oh man, my throat is kind of ravaged. I'm sorry. It's. I think there's allergies.
Dude, allergies definitely can mess with your throat. And no, I guess all the Palo Verde trees already shed all their yellow stuff.
Yeah, they did. But there's desert sage and all sorts of other stuff out here. So
Yeah.
Oh,
that tree's just completely gone.
Oh, and she's back. She's okay.
I was like, wait a second.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know if people know that joke, but if anyone's been to Disneyland and they saw Billy Hill and the Hillbillies, he gets his, I don't even know how to explain it, Rick. He gets his
fiddle and stuff.
Yeah, he gets his fiddle player thing stuck in his nose. Yeah, and he keeps going around and he's like, I'm okay. And it's like a family joke.
He's got buck teeth more than mine. And he's like, stuff. It's just.
I never thought you had buck teeth, actually.
Yeah, I got buck teeth and fangs.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I would not look at your teeth and think either of those things. But
yeah, I think you just have teeth.
Yeah.
I feel like you can have an overbite and it's not always going to be buck teeth. Buck teeth to me is a severe overbite.
Yeah, I've got actual rabbit teeth and I got fangs there.
When you can't get your teeth inside your mouth.
I'm sorry, I'm messing with my tail. Yeah. Next it'll be up the nose.
Oh my gosh.
Little chipmunk teeth.
I forgot why I jumped in on this.
Well, I don't know, but I feel like because we were supposed to have 3 topics and now we're narrowed down to 2 unless you had another topic that you were able to.
I don't now just because
we had the AI stuff.
In and out. Yeah.
Oh, I guess the AI did kind of become its own topic tonight.
Yeah.
That's true.
And we don't have to do an entire hour.
Would you say, Rick?
I said we don't have to do an entire hour.
Yeah, we don't.
No, but I think that's the fun of our show and Campfire Stories is the fact that it doesn't matter if we're telling actual stories or we're just going off on tangents. But this is what I like about our show and I like about our viewers. And I just want to appreciate our viewers right now with the fact that we go off on tangents and we do fun stuff. And I feel like everyone's fine with that because that's what you do around a campfire. You just sit around a campfire, you talk, you're amongst friends and you're hanging out. And Dungeon Dan's got to make his comments right here.
Yeah. Yeah. An overbite is different from buck teeth. It's not the same.
Yeah. I have a weird triangle shape to my mouth, I guess. I don't know. I remember someone, actually it was Brandon. It was Brandon Krystal. Okay. I took him out of his cheeseburger one time and he was like, what kind of buck beak took a bite out of my food?
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, well, Brandon and sharing food was weird and he really doesn't have any room to talk. So.
Exactly. But I don't know. That's just what I love about our show though. I love that we can just gather around, hang out with our viewers. And I love our show. I'm getting all sentimental.
No, I agree. And I do think that our viewers our viewers are definitely very good with like when we have to like have last minute changes, like on our last episode where we had a last minute cancellation. So it was like, so we were supposed to have a guest, but instead we're just talking about this completely unprepared topic, and everybody still like participates and has fun. So
And if you're ever a guest on a show and you don't show, we'll call you out. No.
that was so serious. And I was looking right into your eyes when you were saying it, so I was feeling called out. And I'm like, oh no.
So I will find you and I will hunt you down.
I will hunt you down.
While Rhonda's over here, y'all looking at your mouth too much. Look, when you get called out on it, you look at it.
Yeah, I don't think I look at my mouth as much as the two of you look at yours.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to be visiting the dentist on Thursday, so you know.
There you go.
You always pay more attention to your mouth right before the dentist.
Exactly.
Wow. So you just started flossing yesterday, did you?
Yeah, pretty much. Aren't you proud of me?
Like, they're like, do you floss every day? And the answer is always yes, even though you're like, no, I floss not as much as I should, but I floss. I still have all my teeth, so
Right on.
we're trying to keep that trend going.
So I actually go to Mexico for all my dentistry. And what I found out is after getting crowns down in Mexico, I cannot floss with those little flosser sticks. I have to use actual floss.
I'm not a huge fan of the flosser sticks anyway.
Plackers or something.
Yeah. I'm just like, am I supposed to use this one stick for all of my teeth? And then I'm just putting the same dirty piece of floss in between teeth? Like,
have you rinsed it off in the water?
Oh, I didn't think of that. But when I have like a piece of floss, I'm using a new little piece of floss in between each teeth. So I'm not putting dirty floss in between my teeth to clean it out. It's a clean piece of floss. Like, I don't know. That's just me.
I'm just sitting there going, dirty floss, dirty floss.
Dirty
floss.
Bloody fingers, dirty floss.
Wanda's like, y'all got teeth? That's so cool.
Fancy.
I'm fancy like that, Londa. It's true. I also never had braces.
Yes, we show our bones on ours.
We do. We totally show our bones.
Should be on like our dating profiles. Never had braces. Just be proud of that. All natural.
All natural.
In our pie hole.
Okay, Dan, that can go in so many different directions right there.
Well, it's the s'mores. Come on.
Yeah, there we go.
It's the Stay Puffed s'more.
Yeah, well, you know, Ghostbusters is a thing. Wow.
My OnlyFans is only teeth.
She's
Only
just
teeth.
flossing.
We're just flossing. Look at this new floss going in between my teeth.
Ooh, today we're trying satin ribbon. See how it glides.
We're going to get a little bit spicy today with some cinnamon flavored floss.
What's really sad is like our viewers were at like a minimal amount for a while, and then we start talking about floss and teeth, and it just skyrocketed.
What, do people see this or something? How is this some sort of...
I don't think that's coincidental. Otherwise, everybody's just really into teeth, and it's not just us.
Yeah.
But you know what? It is a topic that people don't talk about very often. Is teeth and flossing. Like, I feel like that is not a topic we should talk about more of.
Maybe we should talk about more of it, because maybe then we'll be more regular at flossing and we'll save our teeth.
Yes.
You know, dental health is supposed to be one of the lack of dental health is one of the leading causes for like heart diseases and stuff too.
Which is insane, right?
Yeah.
Like not flossing can lead to a heart attack. I mean, I don't know if that's the exact line direction, but I'm just saying it can contribute.
Well, they certainly make you feel like that at the vet. Like if your cat, like we've all had cats, And if your cat has to have a tooth appointment or like a dental cleaning, they make it sound like your cat will die if you do not do this.
If you don't have $10,000.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean, Olive has tried to die on me a few times, and it's never had anything to do with her teeth. So
She's also messing with her mummy, though. So
yeah.
Which, okay, she stopped messing with it. So, but like, it's a mummy cat.
Aw.
Oh.
Yeah, we couldn't see from the picture because it was face down, but yeah.
Yeah, I showed Olive was playing with this right before the show, but the mummy was face down, so they didn't get to see that part.
Aw.
This is one of Olive's favorite toys. Oh, she heard me playing with it, so she's coming. Here you go, Kit Kat.
Hey, if our viewer base is the dental insurance agents.
Right.
I mean, they know that we're telling the truth. We're telling people to use good floss and clean floss and do it more than you do it now.
We're all Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales, sponsored by Crest.
4 out of 5 dentists recommend watching
Who is that fifth dentist? What's you know what? That fifth dentist wants you to lose your teeth because that's where the real money is.
I feel like that fifth dentist was the one who just barely graduated, and he just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, usually
like,
those who
that
have
was
just graduated are like all on to the books and everything, and the ones who have been there forever, like, yeah, bro.
I feel like, because I feel like I always heard the 4 out of 5 dentists, like it was always with like Trident gum or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the person that's just really cranky and doesn't like how people look when they're chewing gum.
They're probably stuck with nicotine gum, and that's why they're so pissed off.
Right?
Oh, so there's that Nero gum that's out there. I don't remember exactly what chemical it uses, but it's supposed to, I don't know if it's not Ritalin, but it has, dentist don't really want you to take care of your teeth. Yeah, see? But it's called Nero gum. And it's supposed to activate stuff in your brain to make you focus more. Kind of sounds like Ritalin.
I'm like, I feel like I need this.
I'm like, I feel like I want to try this though. I've tried energy gum before that has like caffeine in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It
help
was
you?
all right. I didn't
It
notice.
was all right.
Right.
Right?
And then Gatorade had a like hydration gum for a while, and you would like bite into it, and it would be like gushers almost, where it like shot liquid into your mouth.
I want Pop Rock gum.
Yo, nothing will top Krystal putting Pop Rocks in my drink at the movie theater.
That
And
was a
telling
fun day.
me. And just in the middle of
Right in your soda.
Static for your mouth.
It was, yeah. There was a loud explosion.
Adderall. Yeah, Adderall in chewable form, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even notice until you took a sip, and then you were just like, "What?" And it was a really quiet part of the movie too.
Sounds
Gum.
Come on, fat gum.
N-E-U-R-A. Oh, wait. N-U-E-R-A. Hold my word. I can't.
Neuro,
Let me go check with ChatGPT. Hold on.
Like neurological. N-E-U-R-O.
Neuro.
I think.
Oh my word. You're
I
horrible.
think neuro is N-E-U-R-O, but I might be wrong.
How do you spell neuro?
I feel like y'all are missing the point of his joke right there.
No, I get the point of
N-E-U-R-O.
the joke, but now we're talking about neurological stuff.
N-E-U-R-O.
You should
You
know
are
this
correct.
because he's a neurological doctor.
I do, who I went to high school with. And we all know. That's my neurologist.
You should know how to spell neuro then. But no, we totally got the narrow/fat gum. No, if you want a fat gum, Bubblicious, that's fat gum. Or Hubba Bubba, that one's fat.
Yep. Big
I
League
would like
Chew.
the
I chew my Adderall.
Crunch.
I always like the zebra gum, whichever one that was, because it came with like a little temporary tattoo.
Yeah, from the Toy Story.
And-
Toy Store.
The flavor would last for about 15 seconds, but you didn't care because you got the little tattoos to put on.
Yeah, the flavor lasts for 15 seconds. The tattoo lasts for a lifetime.
I don't think it was Lionel's Playworld. It was Jeffrey's Playworld. Jeffrey the giraffe is what that was.
No, Jeffrey the Giraffe is Toys R Us.
But he wasn't a giraffe. He was actually a Black and
Stripe
white
had a
stripe.
zebra.
Zebra.
Right.
Yeah, he was a zebra.
Jeffrey the Giraffe was the Toys R Us mascot.
Yeah, you're kind of
Yeah.
mixing those two right there, Rick.
Oh man, I'm horrible with mascots.
I don't know if the zebra had a name. Who's the fruit striped zebra?
That is true, Londa.
Yes.
Bubblicious, you could get major
Mhm.
bubbles going on that. I remember having a bubble pop so wide that it covered my whole glasses, and my parents got mad at me because my glasses were all dirty with bubble gum.
Yeah, it's really hard to clean up.
Just take some silly putty to it.
Yeah, right. Totally made it better.
I definitely had a bubble pop into my hair, and my mom cut it out.
Yep, Bethany too. I remember
Yeah,
that.
I did a whole science project on it.
Yep, supposedly like peanut butter, and I think you have to have the really oily stuff though.
Yeah. I
Like
did
the
a whole thing
organic
like
peanut butter. I feel like that the oil separates more.
What if you have for nonstick pan stuff?
I found that oil, like just olive oil, worked really good for getting bubble gum out of stuff.
What about conditioner?
I
No.
tried that. It didn't work
I don't
as
think
well. I remember I did, but everything I used was Amway products too. So this could just be like a basis off of Amway products.
Oh, I mean,
But that's what we had at the time.
yeah.
Yeah, you use what you have. That makes sense.
Jolt Cola. Oh, Jolt. No, it was not good. What's the matter with you?
He was thinking of the bubble gum.
I never tried Jolt. I've never really been a soda person though.
It's like Mountain Dew in a way. I don't remember which company is doing that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's like Mountain Dew in that it's a citrus type drink. So
poor Londa, she just suppressed her memories.
I mean, I've definitely. Who hasn't had horrible haircuts? Oh my gosh.
have you not seen me during the Fat Jesus phase where I had my hair down to here?
You're fat.
Too much
Jesus.
spray.
That Jesus face.
But you know what? I would describe you as Jesus to a lot of my friends at the time when you had
See?
that hair. They're like, "Oh, who's your brothers?" I'm like, "Well, the one over here that all the girls like in the neighborhood, that's Tom. And then you got Jesus over here. That's Rikki."
You got Jesus over here.
I believe it's Jesus.
Jesus.
Get it right.
Yeah, Peter Cutlins. So anyway, on that note, I feel like this was a fun episode.
Yeah.
We got back to our roots.
We did. Tangent City.
Gotta hand it to you. You pretty much covered that.
Yeah, I tried. Thank you everyone for putting up with us for the last hour.
And all our tangents.
There we go.
Don't forget to floss your teeth and wash your hands.
Exactly.
And to all the dental
Watch
agents
for
out there
those-
that were helping, thank you for the viewership.
Yep. Watch out for those bloody fingers, guys. So
You know, the dentist probably
If
have
you're
bloody
bloody,
fingers.
don't wash them before. If you have bloody fingers, use a Band-Aid and wash them before you floss your teeth.
there
And
you go.
always use clean floss. That's my personal recommendation.
Right? 4 out of 5 dentists recommend.
Clean floss.
We gotta find that fifth dentist.
That's
Find out
it.
what his deal was.
4 out of 5 dentists plus me.
Bless me.
Great show.
Pretty much. And chew your gum.
Yeah, I think ADHD pretty much describes our show format.
We just need to have a disclaimer that says and tangent for like everything that we do.
Or just squirrel.
Exactly.
Chupacabra.
Okay, Londa, if you want to use dirty floss, go ahead, but don't blame me when you end up with old food stuck in between your teeth.
Yes, I do. So here's the plug, I guess. I do Dungeons and Dragons charity events for community options down here at Tucson, and it's at the Tucson Mall in the Tucson Games and Gadgets that's there. And this game is coming up next Sunday from noon to 4. So if you happen to be in Tucson, but most of our viewers aren't, there's that. I have quarterly this year. So, and this one is basically themed as Mad Max on the Bayou. So,
Nice. I like it.
Mad Max
Yeah.
on the Bayou. That's kind of
yeah,
cool.
yeah, as redneck as possible.
I could go for some wait, who played Mad Max? Tom, what?
No,
No. In the latest Mad Max, what was his name?
Was it Mel Gibson at one point? I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
it
the
was Mel
first
Gibson.
one.
I haven't seen any of the
right.
new Mad Max movies.
Oh my gosh. Well, I
think
mean,
it's
my
all-
joke's gone, but now I just got to figure out who played Mad Max.
Hold on here.
It was Tom.
Mad Max.
Was Tom Hiddleston?
Yes,
Is that a person?
Really?
I believe so. Yeah, but that's not who played it.
Okay. I was just guessing.
Uh,
Tom Hardy.
Hardy.
Tom
Yeah.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Well,
John
that was
would be.
my
John would
that
be
was my
killing you right
joke
now.
like a full minute ago. Was I could go for some Tom Hardy and gumbo, but I couldn't think of his name. So
I have okra in my freezer if you want for the gumbo part, because I mean,
No, I'm good.
I had
I'm good.
chicken and riced veggies, but yeah,
I should probably stay away from food right now. So
No,
all right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for Blondes, Books, and Campfire Tales. Definitely a tangent episode, but y'all love us, and you know you love this stuff. So
and we love you.
Tom Hiddleston was Loki, yes, but that's not who played it. It was Tom Hardy,
Hey,
and not Tom Stutzman.
wow, too many Toms. Well, anyway, thank you guys, everyone, for joining us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We don't have a topic yet, so if you have any requests, definitely drop a comment and a like, and we will check into it, and we'll see what we can do for you guys. But thank you for joining us.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just saying it's summertime. Tell us, give us some of your favorite campfire stories, and yeah, we'll talk about them.
I know. Maybe next time we'll do I'll see if I can do a little s'more out on my patio for next time. I'll see what I can do.
That'd be cool.
All right, everyone. Well, have a good night, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Fingers.